Hello and welcome to another video learning session brought to you by Penny Stock Analysis and PennyStockAnalysis.com. Today's session will be about the company TITL Consulting Services Inc. They trade on the pink sheets under the symbol TITL, and this rapidly growing company has a website, TITLConsultingServices.com, which can be seen on the bottom of this screen. And just so there's some background as we move forward, you'll know that this company provides title insurance services of all kinds, and are rapidly turning into a conglomerate, including many types of new smartphone technologies. So all of that, of course, can be viewed from their website, TITLConsultingServices.com. On to the analysis we go. So we can see here we have a standard price chart on the top and a volume chart on the bottom. And imposed on the top price chart, you will see the Bollinger Bands, which are colored in red. And we can see that over the last 3 months, there has been a movement towards each other in terms of those Bollinger Bands moving closer. And those are outlined by the green dotted lines on the chart. That's to make it easier to see that the lines are in fact converging. And as you know from previous educational videos, Bollinger Bands, when they come together, it's like a building of pressure, and then there's usually a big movement in the stock, as can be seen moving backwards in time on the chart on the top. You'll see that just after a narrowing of the bands, there's usually an expansion of the bands, which is accompanied by a large change in the price. So that's one good thing. There's a buildup of pressure on the stock, and probably going to move upwards, considering that there is a lot of volume building. Looking in the bottom, you'll see there's 3 circles highlighting 3 very strong periods of volume growth. The first, of course, is just before the beginning of March. The second is just before the beginning of April, and now we're at the beginning of May, and you can see that volume has really stepped up tremendously. So essentially what this means is that there's a lot of buyers at the current price, and it's actually building a floor, a resistance on the stock. That way it won't go any lower. Given the confidence we can gain from the previous volume chart, that the stock doesn't have too much lower to go, if at all, and that there is a lot of volume at this price, and we also can move on to the moving average convergence divergence chart, also known as a MACD, which is on the bottom. And you'll notice that there is a green arrow pointing upwards, and that is to make it easier to see the trend line, that in fact the MACD is moving upwards towards the 0 line. And in fact there is a very bullish movement upward with the 9-day trend line crossing the blue long-term trend line. So given that, we should expect to see some upward movement in the price, especially given the increased volume and the very nice floor resistance at this price. On to our third chart we go. This time we are going to be analyzing the momentum chart. You will notice on the momentum chart, located on the bottom, there is a thick green line, and that's to help you see that there is a clear floor resistance, and that in fact momentum has not moved downwards like the stock price, and in fact it has remained steady and shown steady upticks. So that is a very bullish sign, in fact, when momentum shows strength in spite of the continued downward price that we see till now, even with this current plateau. Those 3 mountains that you can that are easily seen because of that green line are a clear bullish sign that there's pressure built up in the stock, and that we should see price move upward correspondingly. The final chart of the day is the relative strength index, which is obviously one of our favorites for determining good points, determining if the stock is overbought, oversold, or put in other words, if it's a good time to buy or sell the stock. The green arrow that is denoted on the relative strength index is to highlight that the index is currently hovering around 20, which is really right in the hard zone that the stock has been clearly oversold and that it is a good time to buy. After you have a chance to look at the website of TITL, you should easily see that the company is growing by leaps and bounds and is really incorporating and embracing the newest technologies, mobile and other words, to really set themselves apart from what is really an industry of slow adoption to technology. So this should give them a competitive advantage and should see and reap the rewards of higher revenue very shortly. So once again, that green arrow on the relative strength index, which is currently hovering around 20, is a clear buy signal. As we bring this session to a close and our analysis of TITL, Title Consulting Services Incorporated, I would like to recap everything that we have gone through and really explain why this stock has been beat down unnecessarily and can really be purchased for a steep discount at this time. For one, the Bollinger Bands are converging. They are coming closer together, which means there is pressure buildup and a big movement in the price coming. Second, there's been really strong volume over the last 3 months, and it's continuing to increase steadily, and it has in fact been so strong that it has formed a floor for the stock, and we should expect it to move upwards from here. Second, momentum, or I should say third, momentum hasn't decreased at all, and in fact has remained steady and shown 3 upticks, which is very bullish. And the fourth thing is that the relative strength index has in fact reached a point which clearly signals that it's time to buy the stock. So that concludes our analysis of TITL. Again, we feel it's undervalued and that right now is a pretty good time to buy, especially since they are growing by leaps and bounds and embracing the newest technology. From Penny Stock Analysis and PennyStockAnalysis.com, invest wisely.